Good evening, you're watching NDTV 24/7. Now, it's been more than a fortnight since Saudi Arabia began its strikes on Yemen, and since then India has been busy trying to get its people back from the violence and the war that it was there. Now, India's got a pat on its back for its rescue operations from war-hit Yemen. Remember, India did not just evacuate Indians. There were people from as many as 17 countries who have been rescued by the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force. And as the rescue operations wind up, NDTV's Vishnu Som spoke with Group Captain B.S. Reddy, commander of the 81 Squadron, on this great feat.
Well, they're back from a splendid rescue operation where thousands of Indians have been rescued from Yemen, courtesy the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force. We are on board a C-17 transport of the Indian Air Force. They were operating from Djibouti in bringing across to India so many Indians who had been brought in over there by the Indian Navy. Well, joining us now, the squadron commander, to tell us a little bit more about these operations and also another pilot closely involved in the operations themselves. Sir, thank you very much for speaking to us. There have been fantastic stories of young children being rescued. What are some of those instances that come to your mind?
I had one instance wherein there was a mother of two. One was very young, almost baby in arms, and another one toddler. And she was probably alone, and she was finding it difficult to manage both through the rescue. And by the time she reached the aircraft, she was totally famished, and she couldn't even stand in the queue. So that was when I decided to pick the baby in arms and told her to sit down inside, out of the line. And that was a special moment, that she was so thankful that she got to offload her troubles for a while before she could board the aircraft.
Yeah. What about you? Is there anything that comes to mind? How did people thank you, for example?
People were really overwhelmed by the fact that they are being evacuated by their own country's force. There was one incident where some of the people came up and told us that it was not so easy to get into Sana'a airport to get back to India. They had to do multiple shuttles, and each time, because it is war-stricken country, they had to shell out a huge amount of money. Whatever they must have saved there must have gone on to just reach the airport.
Yeah.
And they were really thankful to get back to motherland.
Yeah. There was this one story I was told of a brother and a sister, right, who were separated, and then on your aircraft they'd come together, right, after being separated for several days.
Yes, that's true, and that was after a wait of almost 4 to 5 hours, probably out of the ship. Normally, when they come out of the ship, they are divided into two lots for the two separate C-17 missions, and that's probably when they were separated. And back at the airport, in the launch, when they saw each other, they were really elated.
Yeah. And you never ultimately got to fly into Yemen. You were doing all your rescues from Djibouti, bringing people back. That's a regret of yours, because you feel this aircraft and your men and women were prepped to go into a wartime scenario.
Yes, that's always a scenario in these situations. Even earlier from Libya, when we were trying to evacuate the Indians in the crisis, we were also again forced to cool off our heels in Cairo. In fact, in the end of it, we just got one shipload of passengers out of Alexandria. In the same manner, we were more than prepared and eager to get in and rescue, because we would make much more difference than an Airbus at that altitude, especially. While they could step up their performance to about 200 plus, would have easily got out 300 plus each time and wrapped up the whole mission probably in 3 or 4 days.
All right, well, sir, thank you very much, and congratulations to you as well. There you have it. Just a couple of accounts of what so many Indians went through over there, but courtesy the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy, they're all back home now. It's been a splendid rescue mission, and hopefully this kind of performance can be replicated in the future as well.